Alright guys, what's going on? I know I'm not a brand name, so I hope you stick around, listen to the review. It's not going to take much of your time. Please subscribe and like. If anybody's watching this, please watch. Anyway, so this is going to be a basic review of what needs to be fixed and what was good about the game. So first we're going to inquire all the stuff that needs to be patched or fixed. First off, primary assault rifles are fine, except that the Vapor and the ICR are basically the same gun, except one has stock and one doesn't. Submachine guns. All the submachine guns were fun to use. JKS-5 needs a little bit of buff. Spitfire needs a slight nerf, maybe a bigger nerf. And the Cordite and the MX-9 are pretty balanced. Tactical rifles need a slight nerf. Swordfish is the second best tactical rifle because it does not have stock. The ABR is the best because it has stock, and the operator mod burst accelerators. You can see that middle right. Light machine guns, not OP. High damage, slow. Nothing that can't be dealt with either a sub, sniper, assault rifle. Sniper rifles probably need a little bit of a damage buff. Just a little. Talk about the secondaries. The Strife, Mazu. These guns can be used to beat any other gun in the game. If you hit all your shots, of course. I felt like these were perfectly balanced. They made handguns viable, and they just worked in this game. Shotguns need a buff, especially the SG-12. Not a huge buff to where they're infuriating, but they're just weak. I mean, up close, it should be a guaranteed one-shot kill up close, and sometimes it isn't. I mean, that needs to be fixed. Launchers, it's a launcher, nothing to talk about. Let's talk about the attachments and optics. Something that was bad was that the titanium sight is not included in all of the weapons. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, the ELO sight from Black Ops 3 was in all of them. Just patch it in. Just put them in. All the guns. It doesn't matter. It's not a game changer. Attachments. Some guns don't have attachments. Why? Why do some guns not have stock? I mean, just either take stock out altogether or put it in for all of them. It's not that big of a deal. The big problem, once again, is rapid fire on assault rifles. Doesn't need to be there. Not really in subs either. And high caliber. Just take them out. I mean, just take them out. It's not that big of a deal. Just take them out. Let's talk about the operator mods. So something they did right with the operator mods is that it requires a wild card to attach it. The problem with the operator mods is that they're completely useless or completely overpowered. They add that extra bit of burst speed that just allows you to one-shot up close or far even faster. Just needs to be fixed. I mean, it was a great idea, but why would you give certain guns perks? I mean, it's crazy is that it took the Spitfire and the ABR-223 and just made them better. Why don't you give these operator mods to guns that are lower level so that when you do level them up, they can compete with these operator mods? That's something I don't understand, and it was a great idea. It just needs to be reevaluated. Okay, let's talk about the gear. Body armor needs to be patched or turned into a score streak or removed. I don't see the point. Stem shot probably needs to be removed. You don't really need stem shot. I feel like the recovery rate for the health was perfect without stem shot. Stem shot basically allows you to peek in and out over and over and over again. I mean, if they left this the game, it wouldn't be game breaking, but it would basically become the body armor. Just everyone who was better at the game would probably use it to just keep getting their health. Cosmic device, not that big of a deal. Equipment charge. I mean, this stuff is fine. It doesn't break the game. We'll talk about the specialists later. I guess we'll talk about it now. This equipment is completely, pointless when you have your special issue. Now in competitive, when their special issue gets banned, this is when those be utilized, but you never want to make stuff just for competitive, and that's what this stuff is for. They're for memes and competitive. Let's talk about the perks. Underwhelming, and there's only a couple of good ones, which are primarily, I mean, any of these can be swapped in depending on what you're facing the most. You probably won't need flat jacket. It's probably tactical mask that you'll want to run, just because there's a lot of razor wire. I mean, it counters a lot of the secondary specialists, which is what you'll run into the most. So tactical. So they just, in the future, this will be in a future video also, so stick around. Perks are basically useless because everyone will run tac mask, engineer, or flat jacket. Doesn't make a difference. Probably some people run scavenger that are trying for big gameplays, but I mean, they'll just pick up other guns because really all the guns in this game are good and it's fine. Lightweight it needs a buff because dexterity, everyone slides, or maybe dexterity needs a nerf because everyone slides in this game or jumps, mantles. This basically is lightweight, and lightweight is pointless because dexterity. Gung-Ho is Gung-Ho, except now it has some aspects of ready up. Dexterity is just always going to be chosen. That's basically what it's going to come down to. And then in competitive, it'll always be dead silence. In pubs, it'll be tracker, just because it allows you to know where everyone is. I mean, some people run ghosts that they're really trying not to get hit, but most people are going to run dead silence and tracker. It's just what it comes down to. The perks are underwhelming. They don't, and then the wild cards, there's not really anything you need to use the wild cards for except for maybe primary gunfighter, because you're just trying to make yourself better in the gunfight. None of these other perks are game changing. The problem is that there's just not enough regular game changing besides the specialists you get. So if you get stuck with a weaker specialist, which there's not many, then there's just no pizzazz to this game, and that's the problem. And it can be easily fixed, and I'll talk about that later. Now we're on to score streaks. Score streaks are also underwhelming. I'm not in the good yet, so please stick around. I'm not going to be completely negative because I actually really do love playing this game, especially with friends. So I hope you stick around for the good part because I'm tearing it apart right now. Score streaks are weak, except for the Hellstorm, and the RCXD is okay. Everything else, it needs a hard buff. The Lightning Strike needs a different type. It's amazing how in Black Ops 2, that was the best Lightning Strike completely, even the screen when you bring it up. Attack chopper hardly gets anybody. The gunship, there's too many inside objectives to make this viable. So either two things need to happen. Either they need to take the roofs off the maps, or they need to make the AC-130 be able to do damage through the roof. Everything would be annoying, but let's be honest. If you get the gunship, you deserve to get a lot of kills with it. I'm going to talk about what's wrong with Call of Duty, but it needs the perks that need to be removed in the game that what keeps AI from working, because you work to get these mantises, the sentry guns, the gunships, the strike team. These AI score streaks need something to kill, and if they can't see anything and if it doesn't work, then there's a problem. Or talk about the specialists. Ajax, none of these specialists except for the Nomad is truly broken, which is something I enjoyed. They just have a lot of annoying aspects that, let's be honest, the special issue stuff, it's earned way too fast. They need to either slow it down or nerf it in some way. The ballistic shield, it can be shot in the back. It's really powerful, but it can be defeated. The battery, the cluster grenade, it's fine. It's a super grenade. No big deal. A war machine's fine. This guy is purely support. Think back to Modern Warfare 3 support with its assault pack, and I think it adds extra health. Firebreak, the reactor core is a game changer. Great addition to the game. It adds a whole new different aspect of strategy. The grapple gun and the grab slam are a ton of fun to use. Nothing really changed from Black Ops 3 from that. Recon, some people have a problem with the sensor dart, but I felt like it was easily destroyable and visible to shoot, that it wasn't a big deal, and it added you to lock down a choke point by yourself, and then the vision pulse only lasts 3 pulse unless you die. So it wasn't that big of a game change. So we're going to move on to the Prophet. Tempest, it's fine. That's what the Tempest always was. It locks down with lightning. Probably the coolest sounding specialist, which I feel like Call of Duty needs more cool streaks. The Seeker Shock Mine is either completely useless or completely broken of how long it holds somebody in. It needs to, in its time that it holds somebody down, needs to be nerfed. K9 unit and Mesh Mine broken. Tech Deploy, I think this needs a little bit of a nerf, but it was a cool idea to manipulate spawns. Yeah, I don't feel like there's anything that can't be beaten. It's easy to shoot down and it's fine. The Barricade and the Razor Wire are easily beatable just with perks or just shooting them down. So to talk about the maps real quick, all the maps are similar. There's not really anything crazy different about them. There's no like wow factor, but the maps are fun. They're well balanced. There's 3 lanes. The maps are solid. I mean, they're fun. There's nothing special about them, but they're fun. Let's talk about the gun-on-gun fights. Every single gun is solid and fun to use. The Spitfire and the ABR and the Swordfish can be overpowered at times. They just need a slight nerf. People have been complaining about the jumping, and I feel like that's where the true skill gap comes into. Is do you play claw or do you have a scuff, and are you smart enough to shoot while you jump? People really want to complain about that. I'm just like, that is a skill gap. I play claw and I can beat people by jumping, and they're complaining about a bunny hop. I'm just like, where do you want the skill gap to come from? Do you just want to head glitch the whole time and not be able to like miss shots? The thing with Call of Duty is that you have to make shots and you have to make other people miss, and the bunny hop makes people miss. So I feel like the bunny hop should stay. Let's talk about the health. The health without the flak jacket or the ballistic vest, I feel like is perfect. I always said Call of Duty needs more health to make it more interesting. And that's exactly what they've done. And people have been complaining about it because they can't hit their shots. They're used to games like Ghost and Infinity War where you have like where it takes 2 shots to sometimes to kill people. That's not what you want COD to be. You want it to reveal skill, and having more health and having to hold your gun barrel on people and not get turned on is part of the skill gap. And I feel like they've done a great job with that. I mean, that may not be a popular opinion. That's just what it is. It's a skill gap. And I feel like Call of Duty's done that. Now, where Call of Duty really shines is in team play. I was playing 5v5 Control, and let's talk about the game mode Control. Great game mode. Great addition to the Call of Duty series. It's easy to play, easy to pick up. There's set spawns, probably best spawns in the game so far. It works. And the fact that you have limited lives gives you multiple ways to win. It's a respawn version of Search and Destroy. It was perfect. This is probably the best improvement in Call of Duty in a long time since Hardpoint, game mode wise. This was brilliant. Let's talk about TDM. The spawns are terrible. I don't play TDM. Probably, except for noobs will play TDM. The spawns were terrible. Domination was pretty forgettable. Hardpoint's always fun. There's nothing to really complain in those areas. I'm trying to think if there's anything I've forgotten. Just small tweaks, and I'm going to talk about how there's really no wow factor in Call of Duty anymore without powerful score streaks and insane guns. I'm probably going to... So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'm going to talk about Call of Duty as a whole, and then hopefully in the near future, maybe the next video, depending on how comfortable I feel and like how much research I have to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I tried to make it as quick as possible while covering all the basics. I like the Call of Duty Black Ops beta. I feel like people are being unfair because they want Call of Duty to be something, and then they want it to be different than what they want. And that's not a fair review. You have to review it game to game. And if you want it to be like the old CODs, go play the old CODs. If you want it to be something new and different, this is what it is. It's slightly new and it's slightly different, but it gets crapped on for it. So I was hoping this review would be fair. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the review. Like and subscribe if you stuck around this point. I will answer comments if I ever get any. Anyway, bye.